Hello and welcome to this episode of the Mixtape podcast. This is where we take a deep dive into the inspirations and influences of my guest as I ask them to select 6 tracks for their imaginary mixtape. Track 1 is an attention grabber. Track 2 is a song they sing in the car or the shower. Track 3 is a cover version. For track 4, I'll ask them to pick a song they wish they could have played to their 18-year-old selves. Track 5 is a song they would use to woo someone. Track 6 is a track that my guest feels doesn't get the attention or recognition that it deserves. Track 6 is for Patreons only, so if you'd like to support the creation of this podcast, it's patreon.com/mixtape podcast, or you can check out the link in the description below. You can join for free or subscribe for as little as $2 a month. There's lots of other Patreon-only content on there, including the opportunity to ask guests a question and to have a personalised mixtape playlist curated by yours truly. There's lots of other ways you can support me, a like or a follow on social media. Again, there's links in the description for that. Or if you are listening on Spotify, you can smash the follow icon or you can rate the podcast. All of these little things go a long way towards growing the platform, and I really, really appreciate it. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello and welcome to another mixtape for the mixtapepodcast.com and KCR 102.5 FM. Joining me today, Jay Gordon, lead singer with Orgy. How are you, Jay?
Yes, sir. How you doing? Good.
Very well, thanks. Very well. 25 years since Candyass. It sounds weird when I say it because I don't say ass, I say arse. I'm English. When I say the album title, it sounds so weird. It sounds like I'm trying to put on an accent. 25 years since Candyass came out. So you're touring Australia. Is that for the first time, I believe? Is that right?
First time.
Are you looking forward to getting down under?
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, I've never been, so yeah, it'll be great.
Anything you sort of, any sites you're going to got in mind you want to see, you want to catch, or,
No, I don't have anything in mind per se. I mean, I know so little about Australia in general. Just, friends of mine who played there and toured there and stuff, but I don't really have any expectations or anything. I just always wanted to go there. So
I'll just rattle through the tour dates real quick. So you're coming in October, touring with Cold, and the dates are the 25th of October, Max Watts in Melbourne, 26th of October, the Metro Theatre in Sydney, and the 27th of October, the Triffid in Brisbane. It is the phoenix.au for tickets for that one, so get them while you still can. How you go with Cold, Jay? Do you know those guys well, and have you toured with them before?
yeah, we've definitely toured together before here in the States, and we decided to do this run with them. Just came up with our booking agent. So we're like, yeah, why not? Let's do it. Every show was sold out except for one, which was at like a speakeasy alligator ranch. I have no idea. It was the craziest place, right, okay. But it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah,
the tour was great.
Yeah. I'm sure it's going to be a fantastic tour. Set list wise, so what can people expect from you on the tour? Are you going to sort of run through the album track by track, or you just do it a little bit differently?
No, I mean, it's our first time playing there, so rather than do like just like a Candyass like sweep, I think we're gonna mix it up and do a little bit of everything. So we're gonna play like a lot of Candyass, probably I'd say maybe 65-70% of the set, and then the rest of it will be like new songs and other albums and stuff. So
yeah, I was chatting recently with Danita Sparks from L7, and they came to Australia and did Bricks Are Heavy album like front to back, and she was saying like it's a rough one because like Wargasm is like the opening track on the album, but it's like it's not the one you want to start the set with. It's like straight out there. Do you know what I mean? So I think sometimes when you do that, when you run through the album track by track, it can really sort of alter your sort of dynamic and maybe your preparation for the tour and rehearsals and stuff. But so take us back a little bit, Jay, to sort of tell us a little bit about sort of your really early musical influences and what kind of made you, want to get into the music business and be a musician.
I grew up like, my dad represented a lot of, more R&B bands, things like that, but early influences definitely like Bowie and things like that, I'd say. And then, just seeing music live. Like my first rock concert was Iron Maiden and the Scorpions in Saxon when I was a
That's
kid.
not a
So
bad first concert to have, mate.
no, not at all. It was cool. And I was kind of blown away by that. And I loved Kiss when I was a kid and all that kind of stuff. So I kind of just got into music that way, and kind of my family was very musical. My grandfather was a drummer. My
Mm.
dad was into music and managed a lot of bands. And then, I just loved music. So I think I was kind of always in it.
Yeah. And 25 years since Candyass came out, like how's your sort of approach to music changed in that time, like with rehearsals and touring, and obviously the music business has changed dramatically in that time. Like how is
Yeah.
it different for you?
Well, I mean, obviously, the landscape always changes with music, so it's kind of an expected situation. But music is just weird. It's so weird now. It's like, you know, bands just don't make the kind of money they used to make and things like that, and it's really expensive to tour and stuff. So you got to kind of hit the nail on the head every time you go out.
Yeah.
So, but music's definitely changed. I mean, as far as me, I always keep my ear to the curb, and I want to see everything that's out there. So, I'm always listening to DJs and like guys like Gesaffelstein or something like that who I think are really 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 good. And then so an orgy is kind of a culmination of always changing and diffusing musical styles and stuff. So it's pretty easy for me because I'm already there. Like
Mm.
whatever's
Yeah.
happening, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So I try to
Absolutely.
like be on top of things. Now we get together, we get like a pre-production room, and that sounds really good. We get in there, just knock it out, and get rehearsals done, and
Mm.
we're still trying to figure out who we're using for a drummer for this tour, but I think we've got it sorted out. But it
Yeah.
should be good.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Like I said, phoenix.au, the phoenix.au for tickets for those shows. Let's drop into your mixtape choices, Jay. Now, whenever I get a guest on the show, I ask them to make up an imaginary mixtape and pick a few tracks for it. So whenever I make up a mixtape or a playlist, or even with my radio show, track one's always an attention grabber. That's one that I throw out there to sort of to pull people in. So what was your track one attention grabbing choice, mate?
So I picked Gesaffelstein Pursuit. I love his music a lot, so that would be my
Mm.
attention grabber. And so yeah, that's who I would pick.
I'm
And
not
then
I'm not I'm not familiar with him. Tell me a little bit about that music, like that sort of style. Was it sort of industrial
Gesaffelstein
sort
is
of new metal?
he's he's a producer DJ, and he had this album called Aleph, Aleph, that came out I think 2014 or 15, and the song Pursuit is just insane. So I really like that song a lot. I love the video. Yeah, he's kind of like the Nine Inch Nails of DJs. Like if you could imagine such a
Yeah,
thing,
yeah,
he's
yeah,
incredible. Yeah,
yeah.
he's incredible.
Yeah,
You'd like
awesome.
it.
Yeah, I think I've had Scott Kirkland from the Crystal Method on the podcast and radio show before. Sounds like a similar sort of. You familiar with the Crystal Method?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it sounds like a similar sort of style. Yeah. So yeah, I love the Crystal Method. So I'm sure I'll check that out. What I do, Jay, is on the radio show, I'll drop the tracks in between the chat as we go through. But on the podcast, obviously the music's licensed content, so I can't include it. So if you are listening on the podcast or the YouTube channel, there will be a link in the description to a Spotify playlist for all Jay's choices, and there will also be a few tracks from the Candyass album as well. Track two, Jay, is song you sing when you're on your own, loud and proud in the car or the shower. What did you pick for that, mate?
The only reason why I picked this song is because it just always pops in my head. I don't know what I'm driving or whatever. Bring Me the Horizon, One by One. It was Avalanche from them, but
Mm,
like their songs always happen to pop into my head when I'm driving for some reason.
mm,
So
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I picked One by One from them.
Funny for me, it's Simon and Garfunkel, Homeward Bound. I don't know why, but that always comes into my head when I'm driving. Not even when I'm driving home. Whenever I'm, it's just a good driving track. Yeah, so I get what you mean when with songs popping into your head like that, just randomly. Fantastic band and great choice for your track two, song you sing in the car or the shower. Track three, Jay, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about cover versions because obviously Candy Ass features an absolutely banging cover version of Blue Monday by New Order, and yeah, for like obviously, I don't know if you picked up from my accent, but I'm not Australian native. I'm from
Not at
London.
all. Yeah, yeah.
I'm from
I
London originally, and like for me as a music fan growing up in the 80s in England, like that's an iconic track. And you did it such amazing justice with your cover version of it.
thank
Yeah,
you.
and that it's really a tough one to get right. And I think you did an amazing job. So yeah, so what would be your track three cover version, Jay?
Oh man, God, I can't even think. Maybe like Three Teeth's cover of the Depeche Mode song they did. It was People Are People or one of them.
Mhm.
It's on their newest record. It's called X something, EX something. I forget. But I love like six, seven songs on that record.
Depeche Mode are from my hometown in Essex, Basildon in Essex. So yeah, I'm a huge Depeche Mode fan. Can't wait for them to get back
Nice.
to Australia. They haven't been here for ages. It's one of the worst things about coming to Perth from somewhere like London, where you get like touring acts coming through like every day, more or less. Perth is sort of like stuck out there a little bit on its own, and we don't get the tours and the acts like that we used to. So tend to miss out like a fair bit. But yeah, I can't wait for Depeche Mode to come back and tour again. Hopefully, it won't be too long. I think they've got a new record out at the moment. Okay, your track four, Jay, is a song you wish you could play to your 18-year-old self. What did you pick for that?
I picked Motionless in White Code. That song Code. It's on the purple record, Disguise something.
Mhm.
That record. It's called Code, and they spell it really weird. They spell it with like I don't know brackets on the O
Mhm.
and stuff like that. But it's called Code.
Okay, and what would the 18-year-old Jay make of that track? Do you think?
He would have just flipped out. Like it's such a hard ass song, and I think it's just badass. I love that song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would either be that or something like Death from Above 1979, like one of their tracks. Like I love their band a lot, so
Mm,
something like that. Like I wish my 18-year-old self could have heard
mm.
some stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
no, absolutely. It's a good question. That's one of my favourite questions to ask because it gives a good insight into the person, and so does track five, which is a song you would put on your mixtape to let the listener know that you're romantically interested in them. What would you pick for that, mate?
Uh, I picked Nin Closer.
Ah, okay, yeah, yeah, no, tune. Yeah, I think I might have that on CD single. Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, no, fantastic choice. Has that ever worked for you? Have you ever made up a mixtape and tried to woo someone with a mixtape?
It has worked, not for that intention, but it has worked. You know what I mean? Like I've definitely been romantically interested in a girl, and I've given her like a CD back in the day, or like
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
something like that, or just got a playlist and give her a playlist, and it's
yeah.
definitely worked.
And track six, finally, Jay, is a song that's maybe sort of a little bit obscure, left field, maybe, or something that you don't think gets the sort of kudos and attention that it deserves. What did you pick for that?
You said obscure, so I picked a band that I was part of and produced a lot of. It's called the Wonder Girls. Drop That Baby. And in the band is myself, Scott Weiland, Ashley Hamilton. Let's see, and from 30 Seconds to Mars was the drummer. And we
Mhm.
we did a video. The video there, it's very obscure. So Wonder Girls, Drop That Baby.
Okay, I'll definitely check that out. And one of the reasons I put that question in the mixtape tracks is just for me personally to get introduced to like new music. That's kind of what the mixtape show's all about is sort of introducing people to new stuff. And what I've done is I've got six Spotify playlists, all the track ones that everyone's picked, all the track twos, all the track threes, all on separate playlists. So and track six is just like that playlist is just amazing. It's just full of weird and wonderful like obscure stuff that you never would, pick before.
I love it. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I think I don't know if it's on Spotify, but definitely it's on YouTube, so you can find it
Right.
on
Okay.
YouTube, the video.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you just have to
Yeah.
look up Wonder Girls Drop That Baby official video, and there it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have a look. I'll have a look for sure. Dave, just to wrap things up, mate. Future plans for Orgy. What have you sort of got on the horizon after this tour? Have you any plans after that?
Well, we actually signed a two-song deal with an Australian label called Golden Robot, and we're
Okay.
gonna try to get those songs. We're gonna try to get those songs out and play them when we get there.
Oh, excellent. Awesome.
So,
Fantastic. Oh, that's great news. So new
yeah,
material on the new tour as well. Fantastic.
yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Jay, safe travels down under, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you. All the best and good luck, mate.
Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate you.
Cheers, Jay. See you soon, mate. Take care. Bye bye.
All right.
Thank you so much for listening to the Mixtape podcast. All the links that you will need are in the description below. Link to my Patreon, my guest website and social media, my social media, and the link to the Mixtape tracks playlist as chosen by today's guest. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time.